Namaskaram. On behalf of Prayatnam, we welcome you to an episode where we are going to explore the life and works of Mahakavi Subramanya Bharatiyar. Bharatiyar, with his unparalleled wisdom, has contributed immensely both to the Tamil language and to humanity at large. Bharatidasan addresses Bharatiyar and says, Tamil Bharatiyal Tagudi Petradum, meaning to say that Tamil gets its honor because of Bharati. Bharatiyar was born on the 11th of December 1882 to Chinnaswamy Iyer and Lakshmi Ammal. At the tender age of 5, Bharatiyar lost his mother. In 1893, amazed by Bharatiyar's ability, innate flair to write poetry, Swami Shivananda Yogiyar gave him the title Bharati, meaning to say, Goddess Saraswati herself is dancing in his mind, and that's how Bharatiyar is able to write poetry with such fluency. At this juncture, we are reminded of two beautiful verses by Bharati. In his composition, Vellai Thamarai Poovil Bharati says, where all does one see Saraswati? Veedai Seyyum Oliyil Irupal. She resides in the tune of Veena. Kollai Inbam Kulavu Kavidai Koorum Pavalar Ullathu Irupal. Saraswati resides in the heart of the great poets who write those poetry which bring immense joys to the reader. Also, in another juncture where he is addressing Saraswati, he says, Saraswati, please reside in my heart and bring out all the best of poetry from me. The song goes as, வெள்ளை மலர்மிசை வேத கருப்பொருளாக விளங்கிடுவாள் தெள்ளு தமிழ் கலைவாணி நினக்கொரு விண்ணப்பம் செய்திடுவேன் எள்ளத்தனை பொழுதும் பயனின்றி இராது எந்த நாவினிலே வெள்ளமெனப் பொழிவாய் சக்திவேல் சக்திவேல் சக்திவேல். In 1895, Bharatiyar joins the Hindu College at Tirunelveli in the Anglo-Indian medium. In 1897, he marries Chellaman on the June 27th. Later, 1898, he travels to Kashi along with his paternal aunt. He has the opportunity to continue his education at Kashi. He meets a lot of great minds at Kashi. He also learns not only English but Sanskrit and Hindi out of his own interest at Kashi. So his exposure at Kashi brings a lot of quest in him. That's what we understand. And then, as per the request from the Etayapuram Samasthanam, Bharatiyar returns back to Etayapuram. Thus, after returning from Kashi in 1903 to the Etayapuram Samasthanam, Bharatiyar's daily works included translating and reading various books to the Samasthanam king and having discourses with the other scholars there. In 1904, Bharatiyar's poetry, Thanimai Irakkam, was published for the first time by M.R. Kandaswamy Kavirayar in his magazine Vivekabana. This was the first ever publication of Bharatiyar's work. In 1904, Bharatiyar worked as Tamil teacher in the Madurai Sethupathi High School. Later, he also joined Sudesamitran, the daily publication of G. Subramanya Iyer. Even as he was working in Sudesamitran, he took charge of the magazine Chakravartini. Thus, writing became Bharatiyar's passion. He translated Vande Mataram composition of Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in Tamil and published it in Chakravartini magazine. He also started writing in the India magazine. Later he had to resign from the Sudeshamitran and Chakravartini, and he completely associated himself with the India magazine, though he did not get any direct credits on that. He supported the team navigation company of Vavu Chidambaranar, VOC. Bal Bharata Sangam was started by Balagangadhar Tilak and Vipin Chandra Pal, and Bharatiya became the editor for this magazine as well. Bharatiya always emphasized the importance of learning various languages and translating the best from various languages even into Tamil. Thus, Bala Bharata Sangam, when wanted to choose a representative to attend the Congress at Calcutta, they chose Bharatiyar. At Calcutta, Bharatiyar not only met many scholars in that Congress and national leaders, he had this very special opportunity of meeting Sister Nivedita Devi. Sister Nivedita Devi, during her discourses and her talks to Bharati, gave him great spiritual guidance. In fact, he has written special poetry on Nivedita Devi. In 1907, when Vipin Chandra Pal visited Chennai, there were secretive national meetings against the British, in which Bharatiya took part. He also specially invited Balagangadhar Tilak, Balar, to Chennai, and they discussed about the meet that they were to conduct at Surat, which was called the Surat Congress. In 1907, at the Surat Congress, again Bharatiyar gets this wonderful opportunity of meeting many other great leaders. He meets Aravinder, and there he understands the need for a free India more. In 1907, V. Krishnaswamy Iyer, who was not so much in agreement with Bharati during the Congress, still decides to publish 3 of Bharatiyar's poetry for free because he finds a lot of value in them. These were published under the title Swadesha Geetangal. Later, 16 of his compositions were published, and the great M. Raghava Iyengar writes a review in his magazine Sendamil about these 16 compositions. In 1908, Bharatiyar took part in the Congress at Tuticorin, which was led by Vavu Chidambaranar, VOC. And also when Vipin Chandra Pal was released, Bharati leads a procession in celebration of the release of Vipin Chandra Pal and composes this beautiful song, Endru Thaniyum in the Sudandhira Dagam, Endru Madiyum Nam Adimayin Mugam, where he not only has asked this question of Endru Thaniyum in the Sudandhira Dagam in the context of pre-independence era or our freedom from the British. Every freedom song of Bharati also brings a tinge of question and a tinge of that inward travel that he pushes us into. There is also another poetry on Vidudalai, which is totally on freedom. But when we apply it today and see, பறையருக்கும் இங்கு தீயர் புலையருக்கும் விடுதலை பரவரோடு குரவருக்கும் மறவருக்கும் விடுதலை, where he talks about equality and fraternity in such beautiful way, it stays with us beyond time. though they were meant for. Bharatiyar composed this Endru Thaniyum in the Sugandhara Dagam is when the British police start really understanding that this man is dangerous. So thus, plans to arrest Bharati start coming in the British agenda. Bharati slowly started involving himself in many of the social and political and humanitarian causes, because of which he continuously started having the enmity of the British. The British started seeing Bharati as a threat. So in 1908, we see that the police commissioner writes a letter to the chief secretary seeking permission to arrest this man. In fact, the India magazine is being banned. Initially, the proprietor of the India magazine, Sri Srinivasan, is being arrested, and then they also plan to arrest Bharati. Bharati shifted himself to Puducherry, the French regime, and lived there. In 1909, Bharati's Janma Bhoomi was published. Also, it's the same year that his daughter Shakuntala is born. Bharatiyar's strength was not only in writing various poetries. Those poetries were not just his dreams, but he really wanted to see a free India, a space which would allow human beings to live with a sense of self-respect. So whenever somebody was arrested, some leader was arrested, Bharatiyar would voice out and speak against the British, sing against them, write against them. So this got him a lot of bitterness from the British. In 1914, it's very interesting to note that Bharatiyar published his English book, The Fox with the Golden Tail. He had the association with Dr. Annie Besant, and his composition Home and War was published in Dr. Annie Besant's New India Daily. Bharati also has written in many pen names, two of them being Kalidasan and Shaktidasan. In 1916, the famous Papa Pattu got published in Jnana Bhanu. On 20th November 1918, when Bharatiyar tried entering into the British regime, which is Kadalur, he was arrested at Kadalur. In 1919, Bharatiyar addressed a gathering at Gokule Hall, Chennai, and spoke on the title Nane Kadavul. Bharatiyar has written poetry in many genres, and spirituality is one of his strong areas. So no wonder he spoke saying that Nane Kadavul, meaning to say, I am God. In his Pudiya Athithudi, we are reminded how he says, Deivam nee endru unar. He reminds all of us that the Supreme is not outside us, but it is very much within each of us. In his poetry, Arive Deivam, he says, Ayiram Deivangal undendru thedi alayum ariviligal, Pallayiram Vedam arivu ondre Deivam undamenal keliro. O people who are in search of that one God by seeking various gods, don't you remember that all the Vedas ultimately only point at your own wisdom as your supreme power? It is not surprising when scholars say that what we have today as Bharatiyar's publication, be it poetry, be it his essays, or be it his works, it's only 10% of what he actually wanted to publish. In 1921, at the Triplicane Temple, Bharatiyar was unfortunately attacked by the temple elephant. This happened in June 1921. After that, in July, August and all that, we see that Bharatiyar was addressing many gatherings. And it is very ironical to see what he had addressed in those gatherings. In the July gathering, he is addressing Manidarukku Maranam Illai. And in the August gathering, both happen at Erode. He addresses Indiaவின் எதிர்கால நிலை. After which, in 1921, in the midnight between 11th and 12th of September, Bharadiyar breathes his last. Our aim here is to also see how do we as artists view the poetic verses of this great man. Bharadiyar's poetry are A. innumerable, many. B. the topics under which we can categorize his poetry are again very many. And each of his poetry are to be understood from various layers. Like many other great poets, we would address some of the most interesting poems that are often used by all of us. Needless to say that all the patriotic songs of his are more popular. பாரத தேசம் என்று தோள் கொட்டுவோம், தொன்று நிகழ்ந்ததனைத்தும் உணர்ந்திடும் சூழ் கலைவாணர்களும் இவள் என்று பிறந்தவள் என்று உணராத இயல்பினளாம் எங்கள் தாய். He says even great sages who can know all that happened before cannot decipher and say when was this goddess of Tamil Thai was born. As we come to the closure of the first episode, I would like to discuss one of Bharadiyar's compositions which is often used, which has a deeper layer. Dikku Theriyada Kaattil. I would first do the demonstration, then would go to explain. ஆசை பெற விழிக்கும் மான்கள், உள்ள மஞ்ச குரல் பழகும் புலிகள், நேச கவிதை சொல்லும் பறவை, அங்கு நீண்டே படுத்திருக்கும் பாம்பு, தன்னிச்சை கொண்டலையும் சிங்கம், அதன் சத்தத்தினில் கலங்கும் யானை, அதன் முன்னின்றோடும் இளமான்கள், இவை முட்டாது அயல் பதுங்கு தவளை, ஒரு திக்கு தெரியாத காட்டில், ஒரு திக்கு தெரியாத காட்டில் உன்னை தேடி தேடி இழைத்தேனே, உன்னை தேடி தேடி இழைத்தேனே. So this poetry is talking about the deep forest that our mind is. ஆசை பெற விழிக்கும் மான்கள். Each of these refer to the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And then this dense forest that is within us. And there is a phrase in that poetry which says, there is a Vedan who comes and says, oh, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. And I was about to get tempted to him. And then I realized and came to you, Krishna. How could this be? The perception is, the Vedan is our Panchendriyangal, the five senses that lead us to this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And then that little spark of awareness which tells us that no, this path is not right. And it tries to push us towards the Supreme. And thus shedding all that were on my way, I have come unto you, Krishna. And you know the beauty? The minute your presence is there, all these vanished. This is the beauty of Dikku Theriyada Kattil.